I want to show our viewers and you, John, a clip of the attorney who questioned Gwyneth Paltrow. And this is the opposite side, asking her questions and kind of watching how she handled Gwyneth Paltrow as a witness. Let's watch.
I have a feeling that everybody in the courtroom knows who you are. So we're not going to go through all the background. We're just going to kind of cut to the chase. Is that fair?
Sounds fine.
All right, wonderful. Just for comparison's sake, I'm in my heels. We're about the same height, about 5'5", with heels.
It's roughly.
Oh, tell me I'm taller, please. You're not trained in accident reconstruction.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Neither am I.
All right, so that was just a little snippet of another question I have for you, and that is an attorney's behavior, the jury paying attention to it or not, and the reality of when you have a celebrity on one side, what do you do if you have attorneys who may say things that are just kind of comments that may or may not rub a jury the right way?
This drove me crazy. So I'm going to be honest, I was heading down to a press conference on Monday and listening to Howard Stern, and even Howard Stern was talking about this exact exchange. And I was listening to it and I had missed it, and it drove me crazy because you have an attorney testifying and trying to ingratiate themselves to the judge and to the jury. And what I would have done, and I actually sent a tweet about it, is I'd have gone sidebar and said, Your Honor, this testifying by the attorney really needs to stop before we, escalate this. And you see it a lot in these televised trials where I think the attorneys get caught up in their moment, right? They know they're performing as well, and they do step out. Even in Johnny Depp's case, you saw, a little bit more eccentric behavior from the attorneys that I'm used to in court. And it usually is handled with objections and sidebar, and I was surprised how much leash they gave her.
And I'm going to say this, I felt like all of the attorneys so far in this trial, to your point, have testified. I'm a former judge, and I'm pretty black and white, and there are no objections, so you can't necessarily say anything as the judge, but a lot of them have had all their little comments in between, and it's like, what are they doing? You don't get to testify, you don't get to make comments, and perfect trial skills, that shouldn't happen and doesn't happen. But let me ask you this, because the other thing that, a lot of viewers are saying, if you look at social media, is, and some of our legal analysts have said this as well, civil attorneys who aren't accustomed to being in court, because a lot of times we have to admit these kinds of cases do settle and you don't end up in the courtroom. Do you have any opinion about, does it affect how it goes once you're in court if you're not always there?
It is very different. In criminal courts, you often are literally beckoned to the court every 3 weeks, and the cases are tried more consistently. Even as a board-certified expert in Florida, we're lucky if we get to try 3 cases a year. And that's very different than the criminal defense mentality. And so there could be a difference in skill set, right? But at some point, it's still, to me, up to the judge, and I agree with you, as a former judge, you don't do that. And what I know from trial practice is, if I'm referring to me, if I'm going to pull that one little nugget where I'm going to take a chance, right, and say, well, this is what I would have done, or this is John Phillips, perspective, it better be good. It better be worth, getting called to the carpet on. But this whole height thing, and when she went up to Gwyneth and was like right with her, getting her shoes complimented, it was so painfully awkward that I don't know if that's just lack of presence in the courtroom, or just, something else entirely.
It's interesting you said about the shoes, because she did compliment the same attorney, Gwyneth's shoes, during questioning, and all I could think was, what? Because that's something I might say to someone I see in a hallway if I like what they're wearing on their feet. But to do it in court, if you're a trial attorney, I know that I could automatically kind of turn it on and turn it off. Like, this is my job, this is my role, this is what I say and do, and not do that during questioning. But again, it's always easy for me to sit here and talk about what I've seen looking back in time, but I do think it's an interesting conversation around, as you're a civil litigator, what you see in court, what works, what doesn't for a jury. Did the jury notice that? That's what we're going to have to wait and see. All right, John Phillips, thank you. You're going to stay with us. We appreciate that. Coming up.